such a turnaround. 6 months ago, he was hailed by the people. Now they are angry. What are they so furious about?
Well, hello. The people are furious because life has been harsher. Prices have risen a lot, and the situation is very difficult. And this law is going to make things worse. So people were protesting so that the law didn't pass.
Take us through how extensive his economic reforms actually are.
Well, the heart of the law is to attract investments, because this government says that dollars are needed, and so it needs to be very easy. But is it extremely easy? I mean, it's a regime they are proposing that is no taxes for 30 years, benefits for these investments. Of course, there's no environmental concerns. It's completely free money to come. There's laundering money possibilities. So the heart of the law that wouldn't injure people itself directly now, but it's a very dangerous thing. Then there's changes for regulations in labor. There's powers, there's delegation of powers for the president to make any administrative, economic, and energy changes without laws. So it's a big law. It has 200 points in which it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, and it seems as if he really wants to have a lot of power invested in the president's office. We've already seen him, cut off emergency supplies of food to shelters where people were in desperate need. So it seems as if he is going to wield these powers if he gets them.
Well, because the narrative is, I've come to save you. So you gave me the power, you voted, it's more than 50% that voted for me. It was a second run. And so now I can do the things I know I have to do. So in that sense, for example, the food, we don't need any intermediaries. We're going to do things in a complete different form. And they don't have the ability, because they're a small group of people. They're not a political party. They're just a new formation. So they don't have, you need to know how to run a country. So there's lots of mistakes. There's lots of advantage taken from some groups in between. And they govern with a high, how do you say, they're not loyal among themselves. They're all the time thinking they're cheating the group itself. So it's a very complicated dynamics that we're attending.
So there's almost no sort of trust among them and no experience. He had a kind of Trumpian style, didn't he? Very libertarian. Do you think any of his policies make sense? Are they trying to attract foreign investment? Is it likely to improve the lot of Argentinians?
Well, they make sense depending on for whom. Of course, they make sense if I'm Elon Musk and I want to do business and I want the lithium there, and I want to establish a company with a high rates of money coming back to me, no money staying in the country because there are no regulations. So it makes sense. Of course it does. And I think that's the reason why propaganda outside is very successful. So there's big money big money could do big money here. Mm-hmm. They could buy assets for a low price, and there'll be no taxes. So it makes sense, it does.
But not for the people, as you say, and this has been a problem for many countries that wanted to attract investors, but it didn't really flow to the citizens there. You know, he met with IMF officials on the sidelines of G7. Are the IMF concerned with the state of Argentina's economy?
Well, I think they are, because we are one of the biggest loans they have ever lent. So they need to take care of this. And the government is asking another loan. So the IMF has said, we are not going again there if you don't have laws, because all of these measures up to now have been taken without laws, but presidential decrees, and that's not, very stable. So IMF is asking for good political ways, democratical ways with laws. And this was the half of the law, because it needs to go back to the lower house again. It was the first thing that they could pass.
Mm. Do you think protests are going to continue like we saw last week?
No, well, there's sectorial protests, because they're firing many people in different areas. We at the universities, for example, are protesting because the budget hasn't been bettered, and we are 35 or 40% down in our salaries. And for example, last Friday, they offered us a 4% increase. And that is not, of course, is not enough. So universities, the system, the national public university system, is under protest these days. But I don't think there's going to be like a major one as it was on Friday.
Yeah. Great to see you again, Valeria. Appreciate your time.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.